Hi everybody, I'm here today to share a card that I designed with you and talk a little bit about one of the promotions that's coming up with Stampin' Up. So let's get started. First of all, starting November 23rd, and you see this, I'll have the information on my Facebook page as well as the Facebook group. But starting on November 23rd, there'll be a series of different 10% off promotions with Stampin' Up. So from the 23rd to the 24th, paper and embellishments will be on sale, and then the 25th to 26th, stamps and kits, and 27th to 28th, tools and inks. There are certainly some exclusions from what is available, including things like the Big Shot and the Stamparatus. But for the most part, most of the stamp sets and kits are available at 10% off during these dates. So if you're at all interested, please email me or private message me on Facebook or give me a call and I can help you get your order in. The stamp set that I am demoing today will be included as part of one of the kits, one of the stamp sets that's on sale November 25th to 26th. Okay, let's get started. So, I'm actually going to show this particular stamp set today. It's called Crafting Forever. And you know, it's always interesting because I had a group of ladies come over and make the Timeless Tidings kit as well as the Santa's Workshop Memories and More cards last weekend. And one of the ladies always asked to use this to put a Made with Love stamp on the back of her cards. So I pulled it out and it just reminded me about how much I love this stamp set, Crafting Forever. And so today we're going to use the 3 pins, as well as a sentiment that says, "A note for you" from the Eastern Beauty stamp set. So this is the card. It's pretty quick and easy, actually, because it's just paper and a stamp. And I'm going to use the blends, and I'll show you how I'm using those besides to color in the pens. Okay, so let's get started. I am going to be using, and I'm going to bring this in. Hopefully you are going to be able to see this. Let's put it like this. Let's just look. Okay, so this is the Stamparatus. We're going to use this today. And I'm going to position my white, Whisper White cardstock right kind of in the middle. And I'm going to hold it down using the magnets. These magnets are really strong. And if you're not careful, they'll snap together and break. So we don't want to do that. All right. So I want this to be, make sure there's no ink on here. That was bad. Should have cleaned my stamps between. Okay, so I'm just going to position it right about there. That's where I want it to be, and just attach. You can see I'm going to have to remember to clean this off. That was bad. But that's okay, because when I actually ink this up and position it again, those lines will be covered up. So I'm going to take my Night of Navy ink and ink up my stamp and just press down to make sure I've got enough pressure. Oops, see, and what happens, this is why the Stamparatus is so amazing. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see I didn't press down on the top of the pen enough. So because this is in exactly the right position, I can just go back and voila, I get a perfectly inked image. Okay, and now I'm going to just place A Note for You underneath. I'm going to stick that one on, and I'm going to ink this up in Lemon Lime Twist, one of my favorite in colors. And I'm going to ink that up down here. Now this is a photopolymer. Because I'm using the combination of the photopolymer and the Claremont stamps, I'm going to have to press a little bit harder, but that one worked fine. With the Stamparatus, there is a foam pad that I should have put underneath here when you're using a photopolymer, just to give it some cushion. Okay, so that's quick and easy. we've just inked things up. And I will go back and clean those stamps once we're done. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I have the blends markers here. So I have the dark of both Night of Navy and the Granny Apple Green here. So I'm just going to use these to color in using the pen tip. I'm just going to use these to color in some of the images. I'm not quickly go hopefully and not go outside the lines. That would be not so good. All right, so those are the flowers. And then if you want, you can actually go back onto these flowers and add a little bit of a Night of Navy dot to the middle. Okay. Okay, I'm going to take the light of the Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to color these leaves on this other pen. Okay. And then with the light of the Night of Navy, again, with the pen tip. So it took me a long time, but there are two ends to both of the markers. One is the brush tip, and it has the thick line, and then the pen tip, the like a regular marker pen or a pen, has the little thin line, so you can tell which one is which without opening them and having to look at it each time. And I meant to be checking to see if anybody had questions or was watching. Okay, all right. So just color these lines and give some. Okay, so that's the stamp part. That's all we're going to do for stamping and coloring. So here's the card that we're making today. So if you notice this, the ribbon, you probably said, "Oh, where did she get that color of ribbon? I don't remember seeing that from the catalog." Well, this is actually the silver metallic ribbon, and it comes as white, a whisper white, or either whisper white or a very vanilla, either with the silver or the gold, which is the very vanilla one. And it works perfectly to color with the alcohol markers. Now I'm just going to cut a couple of little pieces off here. And what you do, I'm going to take my darkest of my Night of Navy, and what you do is just color this ribbon, and this works just as well with the very vanilla as well. Try not to get my fingers all inky. So now you have Night of Navy ribbon with a silver accent. And I'll do this one quickly as well. All right. I tend to like to let that dry just a little bit so that it's not going to add Night of Navy. So we'll put those to the side. And while we're doing that, we can adhere using some snail. So my card base is in Night of Navy, so I've cut this to be 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored in the middle at 4 1/4. So we're going to adhere the, oh, and I've cut this wrong, isn't that? That's not clever. All right, well, okay, we're just going to adhere this on like this. for now. So I got this not quite right. All right. So now we'll adhere this so it's a little off center instead of being in the middle, but I'm okay with that. So then I'm going to take my Night of Navy ribbon that I just made and wrap it around. Okay, and then I'm going to adhere this to the card front. Okay, and then with this piece, I'm just going to tie a faux bow by wrapping it around and just tying a little knot and cutting those. One a little bit longer than the other, so we'll just trim that off there. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is take my tool and just put some rhinestones, some random spots. Oops. And one more. One there. Okay. All right. So, quick and easy card. I think they're pretty much the same. Maybe I've used slightly different colors and my ribbon's in a different spot, but yeah. So quick and easy card, simple stamping. So all it is paper and ink and some markers just to color a little bit. And even if you didn't have the markers to color, I think this is a pretty card even without that, the coloring of the pens. All right, so that's the card today. As I said, if you at all are interested in placing an order and taking advantage of the online extravaganza and the 10% off on many products over the next little while, starting November 23rd. You can go to my online store at www.stampingwithmelva.com, which is my blog, and there's a link to my online store. The current host code is here, so you can use that host code for every $50 order that you place on my online store. I will send you a set of 4 cards with the instructions. And the 4 cards this month are featuring they're for Christmas, and they're featuring the Festive Farmhouse Designer Series paper. So thanks very much for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed watching me make my card. Thanks very much, everybody. Talk to you soon.